Hey, what's up guys, it's Austin here and I hope you're having a great day. In today's episode, I'm giving you another Morph Madness video. I haven't done one in such a long time and it's going to be the long-awaited Ultramel video for all you Ultramel lovers out there. And before we get into that, huge shout out to Reggie's Urban Jungle. This is literally my favorite hoodie. I wear this every day. I even have a hole in it. I wear it so much, but gotta represent Reggie and slacking on the back, but it's okay because it is a hoodie. But we're gonna get straight into some really cool Ultramel combos, and I don't have too many, or at least I'm not gonna show you guys too many, but we have a good at least 10 to show you guys. Let's get straight into it. So right over here we have a normal Ultramel female, and this girl is an adult female. She's about 3,000 grams. You guys can see she is just huge, and the colors of the Ultramel are just really nice. It gives you these almost caramel colors where you have some yellow tones, some orange tones, and some purple tones. You don't get too many purples when you have just the normal Ultramel gene. When you do add some dark stuff into the Ultramel, you get a lot of nice purple where all the dark pattern is, and you get really nice contrast with the oranges and the yellows that the Ultramel does bring in. So we're gonna go look at some combos and compare and just see how cool Ultramels are. So I thought I'd show you guys one more normal Ultramel to show you how different the colors could be. If you look at that last girl, she's a lot brighter than this one. This one has a lot more darker tones and some blushing in the dorsal stripe, as you guys can see. But Ultramel doesn't really change anything pattern-wise, just the colors. And now you guys can see that there's actually variability inside of the colors. You get some darker animals, and sometimes you get lighter ones. And this girl's trying to hide her head right now. But this is the one I got from Italy, so it might be a European line making it a little bit darker, but I have seen some of these inside of Canada. So there's just a lot of variability to the Ultramel. This one kind of looks like a Monarch in my opinion, but it is in fact an Ultramel, so it does show you that there's a nice spectrum of color. So this right here is an Orange Dream Ultramel girl, and you can see right away that the head in this girl is really blushed out, and that's from the Orange Dream, and it has a little bit of a head stamp in the middle. And you can see that these colors are a little bit more bright than the last two snakes I showed you guys. You have some really nice flaming coming up the sides, as you can see, some right over here. And we have some blushing inside of the dorsal. And the pattern looks a little bit more purple along the sides. Of course, Orange Dream goes and reduces the pattern and cleans it up like you guys are seeing. We're not getting too many alien heads. There's a few towards the top of the snake, but not too many. And it's also chaining some of the pattern together towards the tail, which Orange Dream loves to do. Orange Dream does really well inside of the Ultramel stuff. Can't wait to go and see this into the Ultramel Pie project. Ultramel Pies are already really orange, and I think with the Orange Dream added, it'll make it pop that much more. But now let's go add one more gene into the Orange Dream Ultramel. This girl right here is an Orange Dream Yellow Belly Ultramel. So if you add Yellow Belly to that last Orange Dream Ultramel I showed you guys, you get this. You can see the purples are a lot more intense. They're popping a lot more, as well as a lot more flaming coming up from the belly, and it's a nice orange flaming, as you guys can see. Really nice orange flame right there, and that's from the Yellow Belly. But when you mix the Orange Dream and the Yellow Belly together, it just changes the whole color of the snake. There's another really nice orange spot right there. Starting at the head, you guys can see that the head stamp is already a little bit different. It's more orange in the middle and doesn't have as much brightness along the sides. And the pattern is not as clean as just the Orange Dream. Yellow Belly tends to whack out pattern just a little bit, and it's definitely happening with this Orange Dream Yellow Belly Ultramel. And I think there's a lot more things we can add to this to make it pop and make it that much better. I love to see Mojave in here. Mojave is very reactive with Ultramel, especially when you add Enchi into it as well. Billy has some that I'm going to pull out a little bit later that look amazing. Even adding Asphalt to this and making an Orange Dream Freeway Ultramel would be amazing. The Freeway Ultramels look very similar to the Banana Freeways, but they have a little bit more red colors and the purples stand out that much more. It's another project I'm really looking forward to in the future. So right here, what you guys are seeing is a Butter Orange Dream Ultramel, and this male has been a great breeder for us. He's been killing it, making a lot of the head Ultramels I'm holding back, and even a lot of the double head Ultramels. And you guys notice right away, you can see that nice butter pattern. Butters tend to have a little bit of pattern on the top and these really weird, almost stretched alien heads on the side. And then if you look towards the tail, it really cleans up and it gets dragged all the way to the tip. And that's from the Orange Dream inside of the mix. Once again, it likes to clean the pattern and drag towards the tails. Also likes to give a little bit of spots on the dorsal like you're seeing over here. and just change the overall color of the snake. If there was no orange dream in here, the snake would definitely not be this pale or this white on the sides. Not only did the orange dream bring in the paleness on the sides, it also increased the orange in between the pattern and made it that much more of a caramel color, as you guys can see. There's almost a green tinge to it as well, which is coming from the butter. It's pretty hard to explain. You guys can definitely see it in real life, but I'm not too sure how well the camera's picking it up. It's kind of in the flaming coming up from the belly, but nonetheless a really beautiful snake. Right here we have a Fire Ultramel who sadly isn't shed right now, but you can see that fire does enhance the colors. We have some more blushing on the head, similar to the Orange Dream. Doesn't really have that same head stamp. It has a little dot in the middle, as you guys can see. And we do have some blushing throughout the back, as fire does tend to do. But you notice the pattern's not as clean as the Orange Dream one was. That's because fire actually tends to whack out pattern, and you get all these little keyholes everywhere and some pattern coming up and almost banding over like you're seeing over here. And this girl's not in shed. Well, actually looks like she's just about to come out of shed. I'm gonna let her shed on her own, but the colors definitely do pop, and she's a beautiful snake. Can't wait to make some more Fire Ultramel combos in the future. Hopefully get vanilla in there. I'd love to see an Ultramel vanilla cream. Let me know what you guys would go and add to this snake. Here is an Enchi Spider Ultramel Possible Orange Dream. And it's a little bit hard to see if there's Orange Dream inside of there. Spider changes the pattern so much. And Enchi and Orange Dream kind of do the similar things inside of Spider. They both give you this V on the head that you're seeing right there. And they both reduce the pattern and clean it up. So it'd be really nice to have both in here, but it might only just be the Enchi Spider Ultramel. But as you can see, this one has a little bit of a wobble from the Spider, but still a very visually appealing snake. I really like how the spiders look. Despite everybody hating on them for the wobble, they're still a very visually appealing snake and looks really cool inside of the Ultramel. This guy over here is a Spotnose Yellow Belly Ultramel. He's either het for clown or cryptic, and this guy just looks insane. I love all the purple tones and the contrast between the purple, oranges, and yellows. And it's a very deep purple, almost looks gray in some spots, but definitely still a tone of purple. And we have Yellow Belly in the snake, which is just bringing in all these really nice flaming up the sides. We also have Spotnose in here, which gives us that really nice head stamp and the dorsal stripe you're seeing starting off in the back. Even though it gets broken up with the banding, you can still see that there's dorsal pattern throughout the whole snake, and it even looks a little bit brighter than the pattern on the sides. And that's typical of Spotnose patterning, and also brings a lot of dark tones into the sides. That's where all the purples are coming from, and it's just a really spectacular looking snake. If you guys haven't seen that video yet from Justin Kabelko where he actually shows the Krypton version of this, I can't wait to go and produce some of those myself, and maybe even get Mojave and Enchi into it to make it pop that much more. Here we have a Mojave Spotnose Ultramel, either het clown or het cryptic, and this is another pickup from JKR, and this is just a crazy looking snake. A lot of potential with this. Hopefully she proves out het clown, but if she proves out het for cryptic, it definitely wouldn't be a bad thing. Once again, going back to that last video Justin uploaded where he showed that Mojave Spotnose Krypton, and it was just insane. Definitely want to get Yellow Belly into this combo for the future, and maybe even some other cool genes. If you guys notice right away, her head is pretty bare compared to the last snake. There's no pattern almost, just one little dot at the top, and that's from the Mojave. Mojave generally have a very clean head with only the eye stripe showing, but the Spotnose did come through a little bit with that dot, and once again we're seeing that really nice dorsal stripe. And with the Mojave, the dorsal stripe is a lot more evident. And as you see, we're having that typical Mojave pattern on the sides. It does look a little bit more stretched in some areas and a little bit more messy, and that's what happens when you add Spotnose with the Mojave. And we have some really nice flaming coming up from the belly, and I believe with Yellow Belly it'd be that much more orange and intense. And we have some really nice purple colors that are coming in, just like you would see inside a Mojave Ultramel, which I'm going to show you guys next. Here we have a Mojave Ultramel 100% het for cryptic male. Mojave and Ultramel really changes the pattern and changes a lot of colors throughout the snake. As you guys can see, we have this really nice white flaming and yellow borders around the white flaming coming up from the belly along the whole snake. You guys can see that it has that typical Mojave pattern with all the keyholes along the side, and Mojaves typically do have a dorsal stripe or dorsal spots throughout the dorsal all the way down to the tail, just like what you guys are seeing here. but they're generally a very dark snake, and you're seeing a lot of those darker colors coming into here. And once again, darker colors inside of the Ultramel turn into purples. So you're seeing all these purple borders throughout and this almost gray, yellow, and purple mix along the upper part of the snake, which just look really cool in my opinion. And I really like to see a Mojave Ultramel pied. I think those darker colors into the pied will definitely make it pop and bring in some of the purple tones more and just look that much better. We do have some other Mojave Ultramel combos. I'm not going to be showing too many of them, probably at the end of the video as a little bit of a bonus. But Mojave can also bring in a lot of oranges and yellows into the Ultramel when mixed with the right genes. Just Mojave as a base looks pretty simple, but when you do add the Enchis, the yellow bellies, the orange dreams, and even more stuff, you can get the deeper purples, oranges, yellows, and even some reds. So right over here is my Ultramel pied male. He's also possible het for Hypo, and he actually looks a little bit different than your average Ultramel pied. He has a lot of pattern, which I love to see inside of the pieds. I don't really tend to like the low pattern pieds or high white pieds. And he has one nice ringer at the end of his tail, and a really nice white belly, typical of a pied. But just the pattern on the top of the snake looks a little bit different. We're getting a lot of darker colors coming in, some almost purple browns coming through, and we have some green and yellow tones throughout right here. Don't know how well the camera is actually picking it up. And then of course we have that nice Ultramel orange to him. But he is doing amazing. Hopefully we can prove out that there's another gene inside of him, or it might even just be the het Hypo influence doing this. But nonetheless, he's an amazing snake. Can't wait to go and get further inside of this project, maybe adding Orange Dream to it, Enchi, Yellow Belly, and a lot of other genes. Once again, Ultramel typically isn't a pattern changing mutation, so it's really only changing the colors of the snake, and this is the only example of an Ultramel pied I have, and the only one that we have here at Mutation Creation, so it's going to be kind of hard to give you an example of the real colors. We do have an Ultramel Hypo pied I'm about to pull out right now to compare to this guy. Right over here we have Billy's Ultramel Hypo pied. So this is a triple recessive male, and you guys could probably already know the difference from the last snake I showed you, which was the Ultramel pied. The colors are a lot more softer, the snake is that much more brighter, and I think the purples stand out a little bit more on this snake, as you guys can see. They're not as muted. As you guys can see, the pattern is a lot different in this snake, and like I was saying before, that last Ultramel pied might have another gene in it, and might not just be the het Hypo influence changing the pattern so much, because the visual Hypo is a little bit different in pattern and looks more like your typical Ultramel pied. So there might be something going on with that last snake, but with this guy I'm really liking those purples, especially at the head of the snake. It's a little bit of a different purple. The Ultra Glow stuff, which is Ultramel Hypo stuff, does like to bring out a lot of purples and bluer tones. I definitely would like to work with this project in the future. Maybe not inside the Ultramel Hypo pie stuff, but maybe the Ultramel Hypo clown stuff to try to bring out more purples and orange tones. Right over here we have my Blackhead Yellow Belly Ultramel girl, and she is looking amazing. And Blackhead in Ultramel brings in a lot of purple tones, but when you add the yellow belly to it, it lightens it up a little bit more, brings in a lot of the flaming coming up from the belly, but about halfway you can still see that dark color coming in with this grayish purple tone, and towards the head it's just super purple right at the neck there, and it looks just amazing. This girl's actually going into shed right now. You guys can see a little bit of crinkling she has going on when she turns her neck. And not yet in the bred belly stage, so her colors are not too muted, but they're definitely not at what they usually are. And this girl is just looking amazing. She's around 1.5 years old. I got her from JKR, and she's just amazing. Blackhead really messed with the pattern here. You guys can see those keyholes on the side. They're typical of blackheads. And then the yellow belly kind of whacked it out, giving you some of the higher pattern, and pattern going all the way into the belly. But really nice flaming, raising the pattern along the sides, and some of the flaming coming really high up, almost into the dorsal, which I think just looks really amazing. I love this snake. It's nice purple and yellow, and the purple around the eye stripes just look really cool. I really like that, and the stripe around the neck right over here on the side just looks so nice. I want you guys to let me know what morph you would like to add to this snake. Right here we have a Cypress Ultramel, And Cypress is both a pattern changing as well as color changing morph. It gives a really uniform pattern along the sides and usually has pattern along the dorsal. Sometimes it could be a stripe and sometimes you have these blotches on the stripe, but generally there is dorsal stripe pattern. And the pattern along the sides are really clean, like you can see, uniform, all looking almost the same, and just really nice pattern for a ball python. The colors are usually very dark inside of Cypresses, which are bringing in these muted browns with some purple tones inside of them, but still keeping that really nice and light color of the yellows and bringing in even some whites along the side. I do have a combo Ultramel Cypress, which I'm going to show you guys next, and you guys can really see how much potential Cypress has in Ultramel. Right over here we have a fire yellow belly Cypress Ultramel girl. And sadly she's in shed right now. I really wish her colors were popping like they usually do, but if you guys go and look at her eyes, you can see they're deep in blue. She has a lot of crinkling around her neck, especially when she goes and turns her neck, like right there. And her colors are just really dull and muted. She usually has a lot of purples, oranges, and yellows throughout her. You can kind of see that right there inside of the dorsal, that nice purple, the yellows and oranges in the pattern, just a really nice flaming coming up from the belly. So you guys can tell this looks very similar to the last Cypress Ultramel I showed you guys, except the pattern's just a little bit more whacked out on the sides. It's not as uniform as the other one, and this one has amazing flaming coming up from the belly just everywhere, and sometimes they come really high, almost up into the dorsal on both sides. Just really cool. And this one has a really nice dorsal stripe that's also from the Cypress, just like the last snake. Kind of give you a rundown on what Cypress does inside of Ultramel already. When you add fire, it enhances the contrast between the purples and the yellows and oranges. It really makes those yellows pop and stand out. It makes them that much more creamier. And then when you add yellow belly, it intensifies that a little bit further and gives you those nice orange and yellow flaming coming up from the belly. This is a really beautiful snake, and I can't wait to get this into the Ultramel Clown project. These next two snakes are both in shed, sadly. On my left hand right here on the right side of your screen, we have an Ultramel Clown. Then on my right hand on the left side of your screen, we have a Leopard Ultramel Clown. Both very deep in shed. You guys can see their eyes are really purple or blue, and just bellies are getting red. This one's more into the red belly than that one is. But both very deep and muted colors, looking nothing like what they usually do. I'm just going to stick this one in my pocket for a second. I'm going to go and look at the Ultramel Clown. And you can see the pattern's not too much different than your average clown. Clowns have a lot of variability inside a pattern, and they all look a little bit different. But this one is really cool. The Ultramel basically just changed all of the colors in the snake, took all those blacks and gave you this really nice purple tone, and took all those browns and really deep browns and made them yellow and orange. And it's just something we're not really used to seeing inside of the clowns. You do get a little bit of this inside of the banana clowns, but nothing to this extent, and just looks really cool. I love the orange on the head. Really pleased with this project. We'll put this guy over here for a second. This guy right over here. This is the Leopard Ultramel Clown, and you guys know that leopard really reduces the pattern inside of the clown, gives you a really nice dorsal stripe, and reduces the head to a little line in the middle, and sometimes you get little dots on the side like you're seeing here. Once again, Ultramel came through, changed the colors on the snakes. All those really deep blacks that you're getting in the dorsal translated into this really nice purple tone. When he's not in shed, it pops a lot more. I'm actually going to go and add a picture of this one and the next one in a second so you guys can go and see what they look like when they're not in shed. But all the colors on the snake really pop. The oranges, the yellows, and I'm really digging the nice oranges flaming coming up from the pattern. It has really nice purple outlines around it. Just looks really different from what I'm used to seeing inside of the clowns, and I just really like the Ultramel Clown project. And we'll move into the last Ultramel Clown we have here. Right here is my pastel Ultramel Clown, and yes, he's in shed as well as the last two Ultramel Clowns. It's kind of funny that all of them are shedding at the same time. I'm going to be adding another clip in right now so you guys can go and see what he looks like when he's not in shed. I love the colors on this guy. But right now when he is in shed, he's looking very dull. But I'm really happy that the purples are still standing out a lot. You guys can see it has all these nice purple dots around the belly. And this typically just looks like a pastel clown pattern wise, but as you guys can tell, the colors are very different once again with the Ultramel. And in my opinion, Ultramel kind of saved the pastel clown. It makes it look really cool. A lot of people write off pastel and clown because it does tend to fade out as an adult, but I'm sure the Ultramel will go and save that and make it look amazing as an adult. You guys can already see all the purple it's bringing in, and you guys have already seen what it looks like when it's not in shed. Now we're just gonna wait till he grows up, and hopefully he can hold all those colors into adulthood. And for an extra little bonus, I thought I'd get these two guys out. Over here we have a Mojave Enchi Creed Ultramel, and then in this hand we have the Enchi Creed Ultramel. So the same thing without the Mojave from this hand, and they're both looking amazing. I love this one, all the purple, oranges, and yellows, how they blend together. I love how vibrant the oranges are. The purples and the yellows are all just very vibrant and stand out so much, almost creating clear borders between the different colors. And I just love the purple borders around the yellow eye stripes. Looks really cool with that nice orange background. And I'd really like to see yellow belly in the snake as well. I think the oranges along the belly would be taken up a notch and look that much better. And then on this side we have the Enchi Creed, and Creed is just another line of fire. That's why there's so many nice cream colors inside of this snake. But going back to this one, the Creed and the Enchi worked really well together to make it pop that much more. All of the purples are really vibrant, and they stand out a lot, especially in contrast to the yellow and oranges. If you look closely, these nice orange and yellow tones actually have deeper orange borders just before it turns into that really cool purple color. And we have some really nice flaming coming up from the belly as well. I think with yellow belly in here, the snake would be popping and look that much cooler. But I really like the orange, purples, and yellows inside of ball pythons, hence why I like the Ultramel so much. Just look at that head. Has nice purple borders around the eye stripes and the back pattern, and then that really nice orange in the middle. Just such a cool looking snake, very different from what we're used to seeing, and I believe that the Ultramel has a lot more potential in the future in the pieds, clowns, and maybe even desert ghost stuff in the future to make it pop that much more. But that's pretty much going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed all the Ultramel combos I showed you. There's going to be many more in the future. I'm definitely going to be doing another Morph Madness Ultramel in the future with all the cool stuff we produced this year. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out, and go and check out some really cool Ultramels.